It happened during the winter holidays of my 3rd grade of high school. We were doing strengthening exercises for volleyball, and I always got home after 8. I got home around the same time on this particular day as well. There was nobody there. My parents just happened to be at my mother's family home for a few days for a memorial service and weren't back yet. I turned the TV on. Tamura Kanae-san of Nani-Nani-cho has passed away. Local police believe she was driving too fast and mistakenly turned when... I just happened to turn the news on and there was news that my close friend Kanae had died in a bike accident. Then, the phone started ringing. Hello, this is Tamura. It was from Kanae's older sister, letting me know that the wake would be held the following day. I was in shock. We'd been close friends since junior high, and we'd even promised to take a trip together during the upcoming spring holidays. I heard the front door open. Then, footsteps climbed the stairs. But my parents weren't due back for another 2 days. The footsteps stopped in front of my room. Who is it? Then a single arm poked through the door. It was a girl. Looking closer, she wore our school uniform. Blood dripped from her sleeve. Kanae? I knew it was her right away. She slipped through the door and into my room. It was Kanae. She stood before me wearing the same thing I'd seen her in at school earlier that day. Her body looked kind of hazy and wavery. Then she approached me with a sad look on her face. It was like I was paralyzed and couldn't move. Maki, I'm lonely all by myself. Hey, why don't you join me? Her spirit said, and then reached out to touch my cheek. For a moment, her touch was so cold that my skin hurt. I was so scared that I almost burst into tears. Then Kanae suddenly turned towards the door. Dad's reading some sutras for me. I have to go back home. I'll come back another time, okay? Having said that, Kanae disappeared like smoke. At the same time, I was able to move again. I turned to look at the wall and looked at the calendar. That day was marked Tomobiki, a day in which one's bad luck might affect their friends as well. I was so scared that I called 2 male friends who live nearby. Then I asked them to stay with me until morning. They didn't seem to believe in Kanae's ghost, but they chatted with me until I calmed down and cheered up somewhat. But shortly after 2 a.m, the 3 of us started to feel sleepy. But then the lights in my room suddenly started flashing irregularly, and I heard the front door open again. But I locked it! Quickly, take my hand! Before long, the footsteps stopped in front of my room again. And then, Kanae floated through the door. Once again, I was unable to move. Maki, join me. I don't want to be alone. Hey, Maki, let's go. Suddenly, I started moving towards Kanae, like I was being pulled over. Hey, grab her! I am, but... I heard the other 2 say. Kanae looked so sad and earnestly called out my name. As she wavered, tears appeared in her eyes, as though she was desperately fighting against something. I'm sorry. Kanae, I can't go with you. I'll live for you too. I'm sorry, Kanae. I closed my eyes and prayed the message got through. Then, the power holding me suddenly vanished and I was free to move again. The flashing lights returned to normal, and the three of us stared at each other, relieved. But then the other two looked surprised when they looked at my face. Hey, are you okay? You're kinda... I grabbed a nearby hand mirror and looked into it. There, I saw a horribly emaciated face looking back at me. It was like all the life had been drained from my body. I slept for 3 days after that. According to the doctor, I almost died. But Kanae never came to see me again after that. Still, I wonder what would have happened to me if I went with Kanae that night. I pray that she safely moved on.